Miss Sadie Campbell, who you know has been the diehard heart of the Jamaica Progressive League, and that organization goes back 100 years. And trust me, there's some history here that some of you need to listen to, because as we might say on the many occasions, if you have a GPS and it's not working, that is, if it don't know where you are, it cannot take you to where you're supposed to go. In other words, if you don't know where you're coming from, you really don't know where you're going. So stay tuned as we kick into this conversation with Miss Sadie Campbell. Miss Sadie Campbell, you are on SosoBone Radio, Let's kick it up.
I see some who know it, and they're still pretending, and I tell them to stop it.
They don't understand that if you don't know where you're coming from,
you won't know where you're going.
You don't know where you're going. Because go ahead.
Yes, because and I say, well, you don't have to because Mr. Rodney having, and the other day I found something about the first independence church service, the first, not independence, 1962. I don't know what they call it, but I just found the sermon here, and I have it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet.
Is it a written sermon, or is it?
Yes, it was written.
Send me a copy, man.
Yes.
Let me put voice to it.
Yes, said that was what was said at that time. And there's a woman in Brooklyn. She was one of those at the first, when they were getting ready for the first ball.
Uh-huh.
And look, when she tell you what happened, it was the PNP was in power.
Uh-huh.
But by the time the independence, because there was a snap of what was going on in Jamaica at the time, so they just take it from under the PNP, because they were talking about the ships in the harbor, the Russian ship coming, and they think it was Mr. Manley bringing the Russian ship, and people don't know nothing about communism, but they decide to no one bringing communism, so therefore they have to vote him out,
Well, everybody was using communism as a scare that time, I mean, the United States went through that with Cuba and the Russian missile crisis and all of that stuff, and that has not gone away with McCarthyism in this country. The moment you find that you go there and you talk about socialism, everybody start talking about communism.
Right.
Okay.
Because socialism, we know what it means, what it should do, and that's the right way to go. But if you ever say socialism, they say, "Oh, you're unchristian," and they don't know which Jesus to tell them about socialism.
And not only that, the fact is that while they put the scare on the population when they talk about communism, the United States is so deep in bed with China they couldn't get a divorce if they pay to get the divorce.
Okay, no, they still can't get the divorce because me have my theory about when the coronavirus how it started. Me have my theory.
Well, listen, it's a common thread that the thing was concocted, and that is why there's so much resistance in this country to taking the vaccine. Okay, and we know from day one that trusting the government was never something that you should do. Okay. Listen, we talk about JLP not locking up PNP one for corruption or PNP locking up JLP one for corruption. Take a look at this country.
Okay, now we follow uncle, whatever uncle do, and this is such a terrible thing. But what it has done, the people who were not there and who don't know the history, they get some half cockeyed story and they believe it, and I think that is such an evil thing to do, But as long as I have voice, my dear, and I'm still standing up, sometimes my voice fails me because I have up this hoarseness, and the doctor say they see nothing with it. It's just that I need to stop talking.
That.
And I don't know how that's going to happen.
I don't know how I'm gonna stop talking, because every time I get on my phone is I want to talk conversation with anybody me talking to.
You have to, and nobody will tell the truth, you know. And some people know it, you know. Some people know it, and they hide behind it. They hide. And I tell them, look here, I made last month, the 8th of June last month, I became an octogenarian.
Oh,
okay?
Yes.
And that stands for something.
Yes.
Said, I cannot afford not to tell the truth. You understand?
No,
I don't know how some people can lie down and know that the things are not true, and they live with it. I don't know how they sleep with that.
Well, you know, I asked Paulette the question when I was talking to her, and I said, Paulette, was there so much jealousy in our community, you know, in the 1960s and 70s as we have now? Because jealousy is rampant in our community right now. Okay? I mean, everybody is doing something to feather their own nest. Okay, to get an award, to get a citation, to say I am a friend with this person. There is the type of community spirit that has brought about the long-term dedication that is being shown by people like you and Paulette and Una and Carl and Daphne Mahoney. These people are just, you know, they are just already come up looking for a cash app, you know.
Yes, you know, and this angers me, but you know, I said I don't stop because it's just like I was talking to someone from the what's his name's office, the city council member, and I said, you know, people who are talking loud for some reason, the people in government or whatever, they think that that's the person who represents Jamaica because somebody have a loud voice and they're talking crap and they this is who they listen to. So I said no. That's why when I have my function, I said, look here, how this is going to go. A politician is not going to come up there and chat. What the politician will have to do, they will have to listen to our presentation. What is the ills of our community, because we walk the communities every day. We walk the streets every day. We know what we need.
That's right.
What still happens. We know where the guns. We know why the guns are here. We know. You also know those things, but why won't you do it? And you come and you tell us some kind of foolishness. What you're going to do? You're going to buy back gun. I watch my district attorney cry. I see that woman bawl tears when the guns come in and when she see how the kids who are shooting these guns. She bawl, and I know she means the tears. But like I tell her, I said, Madam, buying back guns not going to solve the problem. You have to stop the guns from coming in, and you know where they know where the guns come from.
They know everyone when they come.
You know where it comes from.
The island too small not to know where every gun store. Okay.
You know where it comes from. And you also know where the drugs are. Now we have, like, on the street here, no, they have the what do you call them, the little smoke shops, right? They are not supposed to sell marijuana. They're not supposed to sell. But who's going to stop them from selling?
Listen, especially when the people who's supposed to stop them are as corrupted as can be.
You understand? They sell the thing, and what happens now? And they bring, when they sell it, and the people who have these smoke shops, they're not from the community. They come here and they sell it and they mess up the community. So those people buy the thing early in the morning, and what do you think happens? Because they start drinking the mixed drink where they mix with the whatever. They are out of it all day long. So what do you think they do? They walk on the street and they harass you, and in the corner store make the money. They lock up the shop and they go on home at night, and then you know these people are on the street harassing people. Then they end up sleeping there, and then them kick them or kill you, them kill one another or whatever, and they're gone. And nobody will stop these smoke shops from doing that.
And
you know what I mean?
And that is where you find that even when we're meeting with these politicians before election and we are questioning them, we have to ask them some hard questions and let them give us some answers. And I told them, because I interviewed Eric Adams, I interviewed Maya Mila, Alvin Bragg, Brian Benjamin, Gibson, you name it on the Carib News editorial bulletin, editorial board. We interview them and we ask them some 12 questions. And when I tell them, I say I'm gonna play the answers that they give us to the question, not only before the election, but after the election when they're in office. Okay? Because that is when that information is useful to the community. Okay, when you ask them what they're gonna do about such and such, what you're gonna do about such and such, we can't afford to let them continue in a situation where they promise us and then once they get into office, no, they just go and about their business, and then 4 years from now they come back and tell you to come vote for them.
They come back and vote with you again. But like I tell them, this is what I tell them. We are having an event on August 6th, and I purposely put it on August 6th. Because that's Independence Day.
Yes.
And that's the reason why, because I knew where independence comes from. So I'm putting it there to remind people where it comes from.
And a lot of them do not know where it comes from, you know.
They might say they do. Well, I have brochures that I put out each time I go out, and I said to my members, you don't have to talk to if you get stumped. Just hand them the brochure because it tells you. You know, because I sit down and make up the brochure and say, it's such and such a time, this happened, that happened. Okay, and here are the names of the people. It's not me do it, these people, because I say I'm a young person.
Right.
So you never expect me to be there when it was happening because I'm too young, a baby.
Yeah, but you see, Sadie, while we over here talk about America don't teach black history in this country, Jamaica is not teaching Jamaican history in Jamaica either, you know?
No, they don't teach it. No, look at Martin. We have our first era, okay? Marcus Garvey. Do they teach Marcus Garvey in school in Jamaica?
I think they just started. I think they just started the planning to teach it because if you don't teach Garveyism, more people cannot learn business. That's the first fundamental truth about that. Okay, and they don't want our people to really progress, you know, because where they are at the top, they're very comfortable. And if your workforce is too educated, you're gonna ask questions, you're gonna understand the answers when you get it. Don't make no sense. Okay.
See, and then the thing, because like I even try to refresh their memory to say, in 1938, when they had that uprising in Jamaica because of the workers stood up. And it was the Jamaica Progressive League who went to Jamaica and defended the cause of those workers.
All right.
It wasn't, you understand? And it's history is written down.
But the bottom line is that when you look at all the various suffrages that Jamaica was passed to benefit the people, it was done by Norman Manley, you know.
It was done under. I'll let you show on this. You know that before independence, what were they fighting about? Federation, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's why I just give just a little quick synopsis of how the federation is. And I also tell the people, I said, do you remember that a gentleman by the name of William Alexander Bustamante was also a PNP?
I
asked them, why was he a PNP? Why? Do you know why? Those are the little things they need to know. And I have someone who is well read, or someone who has a little more degree than I have. And he told me that he did not know that the People's National Party preceded the Jamaica Labour Party.
Oh, boy.
And I said, oh, my God.
Oh, boy. When I tell you they're not teaching history in Jamaica.
You know, but this man is a man nearly old like me.
But it doesn't mean but listen, again, you know, sometimes people just assume, and because we just assume, we don't educate, you see. The diaspora need to be educated, okay? And I tell them, I say, when I say educated, I don't mean go to school and put a piece of paper on the wall, okay? It means understanding what makes our community what it is. And the decisions that were made, that has brought us to where we are. Where did we go wrong? I said to Paulette, how is it that the Progressive League, for example, has been around for over 100 years. And as the population grew and people left the country and came into this country, they never gravitated towards the organizations that we have. What happened? You know?
Well, I tell you something which you would not know. You have certain persons, because you know how divided Jamaica was.
Yes.
You have the rich and the poor, and the people who aspire to be of the upper class.
Yes.
Okay, and what these people have done when they come here, they separated themselves.